This is Greg Heth. After being bullied in his youth, Greg set out to complete every diary task in old school RuneScape in order from easy to elite. The only problem is, he can't complete any higher tier tasks until completing every task in every region at the lowest tier. This means no teleporting to Varrock, Camelot, or Arduine, or even cutting willow trees in Draenor until every easy task in the game is complete in order to unlock medium tasks. This is the diary of a Wimpy adventurer.
Welcome back. If I sound a little off, it's because I just recently got over a cold. I feel fine, but my voice is still a little nasally. But anyway, last week we finished up the easy diary tasks in Lumbridge, which gave us the Explorer's Ring 1. This ring allows me to recharge Greg's run energy by 50 points twice per day, which will be very handy in the days before the Graceful outfit. This week, my goal is to complete the rest of the easy Varrock tasks. Without further ado, let's get started. With the goal of completing the rest of the Varrock easy tasks, I set my sights on 13 agility, which led me back to the Draenor rooftop course.
And there it is.
After reaching level 13, I stopped by the bank to grab my pickaxe, some feathers, and some cash to buy a fly fishing rod and some more feathers so I could fish for trout in the barbarian village for another task. With my inventory ready to go, I teleported back to Varrock to jump over this fence, completing my 9th easy Varrock task. With that out of the way, I made my way east to the mines to get some iron ore for task number 10. Since I was here, I decided to get the ores required to complete Doric's quest, as I'd have to do that eventually anyway for one of the Falador tasks. This requires getting 2 iron ore, 4 copper, and 6 clay. Personally, I recommend getting all the items before you start the quest, but you'll see why I say that later. Since I was in the area, I also stopped to get some Kadabba and red berries for future quests. Greg's all about efficiency, when he remembers anyway. Now that I have all the items for Doric's quest, it's time to make my way over to the barbarian village to fish some trout. At this point, it was really about time I stopped to make some money for a bit, and I did have an idea of how I was going to do it. Now, money making is probably one of the things I'm historically bad at when it comes to playing RuneScape. I'm usually too impatient to grind out the slower money makers and either too lazy or too low level to do any of the faster ones. But my plan to make money with Greg is simple: fletching. Most general stores in the game buy and sell items at around the same prices. But when it comes to bows, Brian's archery shop in Remington buys them for slightly better prices than the rest of the archery shops in Gillinor. We're only talking a few GP per bow at the lower levels, but over the course of hundreds or thousands of bows, that GP adds up. But until I get level 25 fletching to make oak longbows, I'm just going to chop logs and sell unstrung bows to the shops for now. After making a few inventories of bows, I decided it would be faster for me to pick up the logs on the roof of the Lumbridge castle, as I'm not really looking for woodcutting XP at this time. However, after I realized I was getting close to level 30 woodcutting, I ran back outside to get to level so I could finally use my XP lamps and free up those inventory slots.
Alright, there we go. Now I can finally get rid of these lamps. And 3 woodcutting levels.
Originally I wanted to use those lamps for a skill like farming or herblore, but those skills were so far down the road that it was definitely more worth it to free up those inventory slots. With that out of the way, I made my way back upstairs to pick up enough logs for level 20, which allowed me to fletch oak short bows. After selling off the last of my longbows, my cash stack was sitting at just under 4k, and I started cutting oaks behind the general store. Once I got 25 fletching, I started making oak longbows to start selling to Brian in Remington. He doesn't buy unstrung bows though, so I went to the flax field and filled up a few inventories of flax to turn into bowstrings.
Crafting. Fuck.
Something I forgot about was making sure I had the crafting level to actually craft the bowstrings, which I did not. Now the plan is to kill cows in Lumbridge, tan their hides in Al-Kharid, and craft them into leather items until level 10 so I could start making bowstrings. And so began the Lumbridge Cow Massacre. I ended up getting a ton of levels while doing this, including 16 defense, 16 hit points, 5 prayer, and most importantly 10, well actually 11, crafting.
Level 10, so you're gonna go craft bowstrings now, right?
What? No. Shut up. I'm gonna go make a bowl.
A bowl?
Hey man, it's my series. I can do whatever I want.
Okay man, geez, calm down.
Well, what ended up happening was that I did forget why I was training crafting in the first place. I'm still using footage from the 24-hour stream that I did on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Boiki. Yes, I know I haven't streamed in a little while. I'm planning on getting back into it soon. Anyway, we're starting to reach the point in the stream where I began to hit a wall and I started going on autopilot a bit. But I noticed that now I had the crafting level to complete another task, so that's what I did.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'll just go back to killing goblins now.
Thank you. So, I made my way back up north so I could mine some clay and craft a bowl in the barbarian village. But first, a quick visit to our boys in the sword shop for a bit of an upgrade.
Going from blue to green. It looks so good. Got my little diary in my hand.
Check him out, ladies. Greg's rocking the steel plate legs, leather body, and Addy longsword. Please, get in line. Greg's looking so good in his new attire that even Romeo started asking him for dating advice while we were filling up our bucket to make some soft clay. Don't worry, buddy, I'll help you out someday. For now, there's more pressing matters to attend to, like making this bowl for task number 12. Now that that's taken care of, I went back once again to the Arceus library to train some more rune crafting in order to make earth runes for one of my final Varrock easy tasks. This drunken dwarf was kind enough to give me a beer and kebab to fuel me up for my journey through the halls. With a slight buzz and a full stomach, I began locating books for Professor Gracklebone and Villia. Not much later, I was able to get up to level 12 rune crafting, which is more than enough to start crafting earth runes. After filling up my inventory with essence, I went back to the wizard south of Falador, this time in search of an earth talisman.
There we go. Hopefully my RNG can be as good as it was last time.
Oh buddy, you're gonna regret saying that. Eventually I ran out of food, so I bought some wines from Fortunato and Draenor for one last attempt. But when I realized the attack debuff stacked, I gave up and decided to do Guardians of the Rift to safely acquire my earth talisman. To unlock Guardians of the Rift, first you have to complete the mini-quest Enter the Abyss, and the quest for the minigame itself, Temple of the Eye. When I ran up to the Zamorakian mage north of Edgeville, I completely skipped past this dialogue that said to meet him in Varrock, and got confused when his shop interface popped up on the screen.
Wait, what?
Kids, read your dialogue boxes. After finishing the mini-quest, I was rewarded with 1,000 rune crafting XP and a small essence pouch. In case you hadn't done the math yet, I also got 1,000 XP in Slayer and Hunter when I helped out Orlando in the Varrock Museum, which brought me up to level 9 in each skill. Meaning I could have went from level 1 straight to level 9 rune crafting if I had just completed this quest sooner. This also means I could have crafted water and earth runes earlier provided I had the talismans, but hey, there's no change in the past, only learning from it so we can improve in the future. Either way, I still needed at least level 10 to complete the Temple of the Eye quest, which I definitely have now, so I ran off to complete that quest in order to start grinding Guardians of the Rift. Some of you may be wondering, what is Guardians of the Rift? Guardians of the Rift is a runecrafting minigame introduced in 2022 that allows players to train runecrafting in a way that isn't strictly mining essence to turn into runes at each individual altar. It's a safe minigame, which in this case means there's no actual combat, so I don't have to worry about carrying food or weapons, only a pickaxe and some essence pouches. For a full guide on how to play this minigame, I'd recommend looking up a different video, but I'll at least explain what I'm doing here. When the round starts, I'll be mining Guardian remains for fragments which I'll use to craft essence and turn into runes. Similarly to how the Abyss works, there's a teleport to each rune altar in the center of the map, but I'm only allowed to teleport to the altars of the runes that I have the levels to craft, which in this case are the air, mind, water, earth, and fire altars. Each time I craft runes, I'm given both the runes themselves along with either elemental or catalytic guardian stones depending on the type of rune I craft, which are used to power up the Great Guardian. This process repeats until either the Guardian's power reaches 100% or we lose the game. The role I play in this minigame doesn't determine whether we lose or not, so I won't be covering how that works. At the top of my screen, you'll notice a box that shows Time Sense Portal, Reward Points, and Potential. Time Since Portal indicates how long it's been since the last time a portal appeared that allows players to mine Guardian Essence directly. The reward points shows how many points I've accumulated since the last time I pulled from the Rewards Guardian, but I'll explain more of that in a bit. Lastly, the potential displays the amount of points I'll potentially have after the round is over, assuming that we win the round. Points are given based on the number and type of Guardian Stones that I've given to the Great Guardian and are rounded to the nearest whole number most of the time. The number on the left is the amount of elemental points, and the number on the right is the number of catalytic points I have. In the top left corner, you can see which portals are open to craft runes at, along with the timer indicating how much longer they're available before they randomly change to another altar. The only way to enter a portal when it isn't open is if you have that portal's talisman, which is randomly given when crafting runes at that altar. The problem with starting at such a low rune crafting level is that I only have one type of catalytic rune I can craft: mind runes. So while it'll be easy to rack up elemental points, I'll have to be patient when it comes to gaining catalytic points, as in order to get rewards, you need to have the same amount of elemental points as you do catalytic points. For example, if I have 10 elemental points and only 2 catalytic points, I'll only receive 2 rewards from the Reward Guardian. Now that you somewhat understand what's going on, I skipped ahead to my first round of rewards.
Ooh, that's enough for a talisman. We did it, boys. Oh.
I ended up getting 12 pulls in total, one of which was 10 Abyssal Pearls, which I can trade in for an Earth Talisman so I can craft Earth Runes and complete my second to last Varrock Easy task. My final task for Varrock is to gain 50 kudos from the Varrock Museum and talk to Curator Heg Halen about a medallion. The easiest way for me to do this was by completing a few quests, the first of which was the Demon Slayer quest. I'll never forget the first time I did this back in like 2009 on my family computer. Seeing this cutscene for the first time, I was terrified, but I had my favorite sword, Silverlight, and I was ready to slay this demon and protect the great city of Varrock.
Dude, what the fuck? That was easy.
Fast forward to today, where I one-tap Delrith, and the quest ends abruptly afterwards. Next up was Priest in Peril, during which I splashed on this Monk of Zamorak for no joke 20 minutes.
I feel like Magikarp right now. All I'm doing is splashing. Oh, there's a 5.
You can see in the chat log that I gained 12 magic levels solely from casting Wind Strike on this guy. The rest of the quest went on without a hitch, and I gained 1400 prayer XP along with a Wolfbang dagger and access to Mauritania. But I won't be traversing those swamps until another day. Instead, I went back to Draenor to train my agility up to level 25 so I could complete the Grand Tree quest. This gave me a bunch of attack, agility, and magic XP, along with Gnome Glider access, which we'll be taking advantage of in the future. Next up, I joined a cult to free Haziel.
We're officially a cultist. Oh, I got 2K.
It really is about the little things sometimes, isn't it? And with that all done, I went back to the Varrock Museum to earn my kudos and finish up the Varrock Easy tasks. After talking to the curator, I spoke to Toby to receive my third item, the Varrock plate body.
Hell yeah. Look at that. Look at those shoulders.
The Varrock plate body 1 has the same defensive stats as a steel plate body, but only weighs 1 kilogram and has a minus 10 range attack debuff versus minus 15, which is given by the steel plate body. It also gives me a 10% chance to mine 2 ores at once, up to gold, and a 10% chance of smelting 2 bars at once, up to steel, when using the Edgeville furnace. And yes, I did change scenery again. Thank you for noticing. Along with the plate body, Zaf will now sell me up to 15 battle staves per day for 7,000 GP, which may come in handy in the future when potentially crafting battle staves for alchables. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode. Today, Greg committed cow genocide, crafted some runes, and slayed a demon to unlock his third diary item, the Varrock plate body. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.